The tragic events in Texas where an 18-year-old gunman shot and killed 19 students and 2 teachers has renewed the conversation of teens' online safety. This after it's been reported the gunman had made threats on various social media platforms. Well, here now to talk about this and how to monitor your kids' online presence safely, tech consultant and professor of advanced media in residence at Syracuse University, Shelly Palmer. Shelly, thank you so much for being here this morning. You know, this isn't necessarily a new conversation, but it's an important one now, especially as kids are spending more and more time online with more and more opportunities.
You know, there are 2 different ways to think about this, Dan. There's digital parenting and it writ large, and there's kind of 2 ways to look at it. You can either monitor and set limits, or you can spy. And depending on the kind of parent you are and where you are morally and ethically about eavesdropping and, you know, what you think the risk levels are, there are tools you can use. The native apps themselves, the parental control apps in both Android and iPhones or iOS devices, for all iOS devices, are fairly good. You can set screen time, you can limit which apps, and you can also limit the time of day that your child can use various apps on the device.
So you're saying like the phones themselves have the settings where you can just set the setting as a parent?
That's right. You should just learn about those. They're very, very easy to understand, and they're very easy to use. But then there's a whole other layer. There are commercial programs like Net Nanny that let you monitor at a little stronger level, or you go deeper into the spying software like mSpy or Web Watcher, or Bark is very popular with parents. These apps let you see into other apps. If you think your child is being bullied and you'd like to monitor their social media, you want to monitor their texts back and forth. And when I mean monitor, I mean see, literally look at the information that's being put into these apps and eavesdrop on the conversations without the other people knowing that you're there. So there are a fair number of spying apps. I have a lot of parents come to me and they say, which should I do? And what kind of parent are you? But more importantly, what level of risk do you believe your child is in?
It's kind of like a trust thing with, like, how much do you trust your kid? How much do you trust what they're seeing online? I mean, there's sort of that fine line that you have to walk there between parenting and sort of just an overseeing of everything that your kid does.
But the most important thing parents should know is that the tools are available. And look, sometimes you just believe your child is in danger because they're being bullied, because, you know, kids can be really mean to one another. In the wake of this shooting, I've had people ask me, like, could you have monitored? It's like, you can't do it without someone's permission. So as a parent, you can load this software into their phones, into their tablets, and onto their computers, and you can see what the kids are doing and who they're doing it with. If this is something you feel you want to do, the software is out there, and I would ask you to go online and research each one. They cost between $5 and $20 a month, and again, some of them are free or close to free, but it's not what they cost, it's what you want to do. But know for a fact, there's plenty of software out there to let you eavesdrop and literally be in your kid's phone, tablet, and computer. It's just about what you want to do.
And Shelly, you know, we've had this conversation with some of our elected officials, even Mayor Adams, who said, why can't we use artificial intelligence to monitor what people are doing online? We saw that with the Brooklyn shooter. And in this case, does that type of technology actually exist where you can see and notify people?
It's such a we are nowhere near the level where any level of artificial intelligence can understand the subtlety. That movie was so bad. Did I mean that movie was bad or good? That movie was so bad. From the text, you can't tell. So Shelly drove down the street in his car. Well, 3-year-olds know the cars go on the street and people go in cars. Shelly drove down the street in his car. Was the street in the car? It's called prepositional phrase attachment ambiguity. Big, long word that means in every language on earth, prepositions are ambiguous. Computers can't tell. They're not 3-year-old kids. They're computers. Don't let anyone say AI can do this. Parents do it or don't do it. That's the end of the story.
All right. Tech expert Shelly Palmer, always good advice here for us on these Tuesday mornings. Thank you so much.